think we're creative enough to do the colour with the appropriate colour. We can do it.
I don't know, I sit there and watch like
Me too. I'll say stuff. We can just sort of talk about this while we're doing it, right?
yeah. They've got lists.
I hope so.
Wonderful.
I'll pull up the live stats on the phone. Text stars. Sarah. John's good dude. He's going to get us there.
Legend.
Are you going to read all the like? That was a stupid thing we had to read last time. You've just got such a better voice than I do for that stuff.
Spell. This guy.
Jordan.
I was supposed to just be on colour.
We're both colour people.
That's why I said that.
But this is actually going to be really good, I reckon. Think about it. Double colour. Double colour. We'll be good. Let's just be natural.
I mean, let's be honest, there's 6 people in Spain.
I know,
so it's fine.
exactly.
And I was like, this is going to be fun. I'm like, him trying to say I'm biased about this.
I'm not going to be biased. I'm not going to be biased. You watch. If anything, I'm going to be biased the other way. Where's the thing?
Big country we're playing in this. Would you be unbiased before?
Well, yes, but I wouldn't be commentating if it comes
Correct, true.
So, I commentated the boys' big country. I thought I was alright.
I'm up here to hit all the colour.
Yeah, nothing but.
We'll be fine, dude.
I have no doubt you'll be fine.
You're welcome. Tell them to turn the aircon up a little bit.
Off, right? Like,
Oh, I was thinking you were going to do that. Can you get us a thing to read, like welcome to the Foot Locker, so she can say it?
who bought this guy?
Or why don't we do, let's do this. He starts it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Foot Locker, blah, 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 blah. Introducing our 2 commentators for the day. Because you're really good at that. No, think about it. I think that's a really...
I will do that.
Yes! Let's go. After that's done, we're sweet.
Yeah.
Because then we can just sort of be natural. Oh yeah. I'd love a bit more AC if I'm really honest. It's a little hotter up here, but it'll be okay. relax and enjoy the show.
I get those things turned off.
Yeah, please. No, I'm serious. I'll pay for it.
Come on indoors, so that I'll throw you first, talk about New South Wales, and then we'll go Queensland.
Yep. Can you make sure you say my last name properly this time?
Mr. Paravich.
Really embarrassing last time.
I went step on, I'm like, no, I'm going to say his full name. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2024 Foot Locker Under-18 National Championships here at South Pine Sports Complex. The Basketball Australia National Championships will culminate today for the ladies' competition between Queensland South and New South Wales Metro in a State of Origin clash. It's my pleasure to introduce to you today our two commentators, Anthony Seppo Saparovich and Zoe Carr. Seppo, we're going to throw to you first to give us a bit of a preview into the New South Wales Metro girls.
Appreciate it, Jordan. Very excited for this showdown. It is hot in here. I've requested the aircon turned on, but pretty exciting matchup here, Zoe. What do you reckon?
It's going to be an amazing matchup. Two really exciting teams and different types of game styles here. But Queensland are going to be looking to try and shut down New South Wales, not allow them to get feet in the paint, and then try and carry hands to their shooters. Offensively for them, they're going to want to try and pump the ball inside as much as they can and get high percentage looks on the rim.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup. I've seen a few of the New South Wales games, and they're really well balanced. So I'm just curious to see where they go early. Like, they've got a lot of weapons. They've got shooters. They've got guards that can play off ball screens. But they've also got the post threat as well. I'm going to do my best to not be biased as much as possible as a proud New South Walesman. But a really exciting State of Origin coming up for us.
Absolutely. And, you know, this is a quality New South Wales outfit. They have Australian players coming off their bench, so they've got the luxury of being able to rotate, being able to have different types of looks. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Queensland handle that.
Yeah. The other thing is they've all been here before. You know, this is predominantly a team that's won a gold before here. In I think it was 2 years ago, as top age 16s, they won gold. So let's see if they can repeat. Tough shot there.
And that's what Queensland have to continue to do for the whole game. It's easier said than done, but force them to take tough shots, contested shots over hands, falling away from the rim.
Ruby Perkins, an Aussie rep. She'll play a lot out of ball screen action. Trying to get downhill. Her and Jessie May, they're going to be a really tough matchup for Queensland. But like you said, I think Queensland have the bodies to throw at them physically. They've done a good job so far of contesting it. Here's Mahalia. She's been an exciting one to watch. She can really get to the rim. Physical, tough. Looks like she's copped a hit there. As Lucy brings it, the refs are going to have to blow this one up. I think Mahalia might have done something there. Maybe a bump to the knee or something like that.
I'd really like to see Queensland try and play through Petrie early. She's been massive throughout the tournament from both inside and outside. So I'd like to see them try and get her going early, and then that will open up other players for them and other scoring opportunities.
It actually, you know, I was at the men's Final Four last week, and some of the really successful men's team are playing inside out, and it's a great place for, obviously, to get good shots, but a great place for players to facilitate from too in that post, whether it's high or low post areas. any rhythm here. It feels like it's a bit of a defensive grind right now.
A lot of nerves too.
Yeah.
It's you know, it's a big game. There's stadium's full. There's a lot of noise. So yeah, it'll just take him a few minutes to settle in. I think obviously Hansen going to the line now and seeing one go through the net, I think will be very calming for Queensland.
Yep.
So now they'll be able to try and hopefully open themselves up a little bit more offensively.
And I believe Hansen's older sister playing college basketball, hopefully tuning in to see her younger sister play. Shout out to the Hansen family if they're listening.
And Queensland just going to a 1-2-2 zone just to change it up a little bit and, you know, try and keep New South Wales out of the paint.
It is another thing I've noticed this week, Zoe, is teams haven't been afraid to go to that zone just to disrupt, if anything. So it'll be interesting to see how that's used by both groups here as well today.
Just a bit of an error with the scoreboard.
Now, someone's picked up their second foul. Can you see who that was on? I think that might be on Freya. So Freya's picked up an early second. They're going to ride with her here. Really tough physical defender. Can put her head down on offense and get to the rim. I've really enjoyed watching her play this week.
Great ball movement,
Yep.
great find. That's why Natoa has been an absolute nightmare matchup for everybody this entire tournament.
Yep.
She's too quick for bigs, she's too big for littles. So she's just been really hard to guard, and you saw her versatility just then in that offensive set.
I just love that, the fact that Queensland have the patience to move the ball, let her get positioned, and then eventually find her with a good pass and let her go work. Hunting those mismatches is really tough to do at the junior level. I think Queensland done a really good job on that possession.
Great defense from Hansen there. Like, Jessie May Hall is just a class guard.
Oh, man.
And when she's coming downhill at you, just to stay clean and force her to score over the top. And then they respond with a three-point bucket. Outstanding start from Queensland since those free throws.
The crowd is rocking in here. It's pretty loud. Good defensive possession. Queensland just doing a good job, doing their work early, getting across on help side, walling up. Good D without fouling.
You think if Queensland can get a good score here, you think a timeout has to come?
Yeah, it's got to. It's got to. Just to settle it a little bit, change the momentum, talk about where your next look's coming from. Wow. I mean, great take by Jessie May, great crash. That's the thing, Jessie May, just elite change of pace.
Yes.
You know, she's able to stand defenders up, get to the rim. Now, she hasn't made her first couple, but she's tough. She's been here before. That's not going to rattle her. You know, she does her best work on the biggest stages.
Natoa again, looking to attack. And this is where I want to see New South Wales play a little bit more. They've sort of walked the ball up the floor a little bit. That is the game they need to be playing. Push the ball in transition, get early heat on the rim, force referees to make calls. Outstanding and quintessential New South Wales basketball.
Yeah, if you allow Jessie May to get up ahead of steam, bad things are going to happen for you defensively. In a game where I feel like Queensland's had all of the momentum, all of the control, two-point game really, it sort of shows the class of New South Wales. Like there's a lot of top-end talent, a lot of shot-making ability. It'll be interesting to see now Queensland what they look like next couple of minutes, and that's where you want to go, right?
And you look at it too, this game's going to have ebbs and flows for both teams.
Yep.
Momentum's going to shift multiple times. So it started with Queensland, it's currently with New South Wales. It'll shift back at some point as long as Queensland can continue to defend.
Yep. Let's use again. The chess match here is going to be interesting. What can you do to get the ball out of Jessie May's hands? You know, do they throw some doubles in that ball screen action? Can they try to face guard and deny? Great pass there by Natoa too to get that one.
And again, it's going inside to Natoa. She is so versatile. You have to send two to her.
Great ball pressure there by Perkins. She's another tough one that's won a lot at the junior level. Oh,
The bank. Hey, I asked for them to get Peach involved. We'll take it.
the bank is open. It's a Sunday, but the bank is open. Now, I saw Abby play yesterday, and she really shut the lights out, number 7 for New South Wales.
Yeah, she did. That was against my country girls, so thanks for the
I
reminder.
apologise for bringing it up.
Great finish by Perkins.
Yep. She does that so well. She just almost Luka Doncic-like with, you know, her ability to play at different speeds, but also finishing with either hand, finishing through contact. She's a really tough matchup for Queensland.
Natoa again with the O board.
She is.
And then forcing bigs of New South Wales to have to foul her. She's just relentless
tough
on the glass.
You know, it's funny, they've played her a lot at the 1 this tournament.
Yeah.
I'd love to see her as like a trail 4 almost, so she can handle it and facilitate, and very high IQ. And then you just exploit mismatches, you know. Bigger player guarding you, you can stretch her out and play her on the wing. If she's got a small matchup here, then you go and post her up. I love what they're doing with her. I actually love what we're doing as a commentary team as well, if I'm honest with you. I think we've been really good so far. People were questioning it, and I just like the conversation. It's natural. We're pretty good together. I think I really like what's going on here.
Queensland still in their zone.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
You cannot let Finney lift the ball above her shot pocket, or it's more than likely going in.
Zoe Jackson with the not in my house after the block.
Yes.
Outstanding. Love seeing that sort of emotion from female athletes.
It's awesome. Awesome. Was there a little bit of Angel Reese about that block, potentially? Yeah. Showing my high level of understanding of the women's college game. This is where Jessie May really makes great plays consistently. Finding a good shooter in trans.
And this is where Queensland need to really tidy up. They can't allow second and third opportunities to New South Wales. If they force them into the shot that they want, which is, you know, a tough contested early 3, then they need to make sure they take care of the rebound.
Agreed. We've got a timeout here for Tim Hill. Very excited. Oh, apparently, I've got to read something about our sponsors. And we love our sponsors here at the Under-18 National Championships. I'm going to give a shout out to iAthletic. They're established as one of Australia's leading suppliers of sports apparel. Driven by a shared passion for basketball, their goal is to provide customers with top quality goods and unique designs. Shop the range at iathletic.com.au. I know that's where I'll be going straight after this, iAthletic. Not that I'm that athletic anymore, but I reckon if I buy some iAthletic gear, might make me look a bit good
Well,
again. What do you reckon,
I'll need
Jordan?
another T-shirt because I am sweating
Oh, it's
through
disgusting.
this one. It is hot in here.
I'm making a pitch to Basketball Australia. Move the championships to a colder state next year, please. I'm dying. I've got my phone, as always, going ballistic with people asking for shout-outs. Ladies and gentlemen, I am a professional. I will not be giving shout-outs, but I will give my bank account at halftime if you want to transfer me a few dollars. All right, here we go. Let's see what Tim Hill's drawn up out of the timeout.
Queensland doing a good job coming out of that zone, but need to carry hands to Ruby Perkins.
Yeah, she is definitely one that you don't want to go under on. New South Wales now starting to get their groove a little bit.
New South Wales in a half-court trap, just trying to take the momentum out of Queensland's offense, and right now it's working.
Big time, big time. Look for a timeout probably from Queensland up on a score here potentially, just to talk it over. Oh, great look though. Zoe Jackson's done a really good job facilitating from the post this entire tournament. Really understands the game well, sees it well, and she can really score from there too.
Both those looks for Queensland are good looks. They're ones they don't want to make. They want to make sure they don't shy away from that as the game goes on, just because they've missed a couple. They are high percentage looks for them, and they need to keep going to them.
That's a great pass by Natoa. She sees the floor so well. And there it is. We got a big time game going on right here, Zoe. I'm enjoying it. Just a matchup nightmare. I think Queensland got to do a better job if you're guarding the handler in a ball screen action, make her use the screen. At least then you've got some sort of help when she's coming middle. If you allow her to reject it, she's just going to get on the rim. They probably want to make, as they hit a really big corner three there, they probably want to make a little adjustment there. I think you're going to have to try to get the ball out of her hands. Absolutely. Don't let her get downhill.
I like the matchup here from Queensland with Risinger on Jessie May Hall, just using that extra length to try and deter her, because she's so quick to be able to take that step off and take up that space, carry a hand to her shot still. I think that's a really good coaching move.
Yep, and if you're going to give up anything with Jessie May, it's a semi-contested too. I think if you're giving that up, you've won that battle, you know. Some subs coming in now for New South Wales. Bit more size and physicality now. I think New South Wales probably trying to match that with Queensland. Two really good athletes in Lucy and Freya that will probably look to use their length and physicality defensively to really force Queensland into some tough shots now. Timeout. You want to do a sponsor shout out, Zoe, or you want me to keep me on? I think you should do it. We've teamed up well here. I'm going to hand one to you.
Okay. Moreton Bay, from pristine coastal villages and rural townships to bustling urban spaces and thriving business precincts, Moreton Bay is a naturally beautiful place to live, work and visit. Check out moretonbay.queensland.gov.au.
Tell you what, Zoe.
Incredible first quarter. Big plays, lots of different changes. We saw some it's a bit of matchup, a bit of zone, a bit of press, inside-outside game offensively, you know, sticking some big threes. This game, I think, is going to be an arm wrestle for the entire 40 minutes.
Very, very impressive, high-quality game. I've actually just going to comment on Moreton Bay. I've really enjoyed my time at Moreton Bay, but I've got one very good friend who loves Moreton Bay more than anyone I know. His name's Sean Roger. I know he's listening on the telecast.
How much did he pay you for that shout-out?
Sean doesn't have to pay me for anything. He's one of my best buddies in the business. Had an excellent year at the Illawarra Hawks, one of the coaching legends of New South Wales, and a dear friend. I wish he'd call me a little more often, but I know he's listening. I miss him, Sean. Hope you're enjoying the commentary, mate, and hopefully we'll see you up in Moreton Bay sometime soon. I know you're a very big fan. All right.
So game leaders for New South Wales. Hall has 7, Perkins has 5. For Queensland, it's a bit of an even spread. Natoa and Hansen have 4, and then there are a lot of 3s. So you got to think that that's going to make them harder to guard as the game goes on. If they can keep that spread across the board, you know, it makes it difficult to match up if different people are going to step up.
Agreed. Spoke about it in the boys bronze medal game. It's, as a coach, it's really hard to, you know, you want to try to take away the other team's best or second best option, but if everyone's doing a little bit, it's really hard to scout that and make those adjustments.
We've got to keep in mind too, Queensland are doing all of this with Vahalia off the floor with that injury early on, and hopefully it's not too bad. But that's a big piece of their puzzle out of the game.
Yeah.
So this is massive from them.
Well, they play her on the ball if they want to push tempo, and she, you know, similar to Jessie May, is just a matchup nightmare when it comes to transition. And defensively is just elite. You know, she's taken on some really good assignments. We do hope she's doing well. I know her and the family, they're lovely people. I hope she's okay on the sidelines. As Ruby Perkins gets to the rim.
The way Ruby Perkins contorts her body while she's in the air to be able to get the angle to make shots is just outstanding.
I think that's years and years of playing against her older brother, who was a pretty good basketball player himself. As who hit that 3? Keriana. Keriana, I believe, a New Zealand international. Is that right? I think she might be playing at the next World Championships, which is coming up for the girls in Mexico, I believe.
That means there are probably a lot of representatives that are going to be at that tournament on this floor right now.
Absolutely. A really big part of the selection process. I know Coach Tom Garlip, who's the head coach of that team, has been here all week, and as I said, a really big part of the selection process, and they'll go into camp late this month, early next month, to pick their Australian national team for that tournament. So we wish them all the best when that does happen.
New South Wales just going to a zone as well. Again, just trying to keep Queensland out of the paint, although they have been shooting pretty well from the 3.
Zoe Jackson, impressive. She's just been better and better as the tournament's gone on. Really active on the glass and that drop step, and she's done a really good job of developing her left hand now, finishing at the rim too. Really, really impressive tournament from her.
This is a really important phase for Queensland right now. With Natoa out of the game, they must get Petrie involved. They've got to get her involved in on-ball, or get dribble handoff or on-ball screens, get her playing off of that, just to be able to try and get downhill.
New South Wales now Oh no, I thought I was going to see zone. I'm wrong. There's been less zone in this game, which is nice. Just a sprinkling of it. Not a huge fan of the zone, but obviously see the value of it at certain times. This is that flare screen action for Finney, who's shot it really, really well this tournament. I love it when they prove me right. I am usually right. Sometimes they prove me wrong, but
60% of the time, you're right every time.
Exactly. New South Wales as on cue in their zone. Jackson can do a really good job at the back of that thing using her length.
Oh.
Wow. She's made some big shots.
She has.
She's come to play. I really loved seeing her. She was at the schools championships last December and just took over. Was really good out of ball screens, big shot maker. So she's clearly impressed. There you go. It's a back and forth, isn't it? Like, I don't think anyone's led by more than 5, and, you know, it's just big shots after big shots. Great kick. You got to get a hand on it. Oh, I hate being right all the time. It's now come to the point where you just can't help off, you know? Like, it's just, somebody has to stay attached all the time.
And which the beauty of that is then that opens up driving lanes.
Correct.
For two of the quickest guards here in the tournament.
Yeah, Tim Hill has done a, wow.
Just right back at you.
Shot making after shot, big shot after big shot. Really good crash by Zoe. Always gets herself in a good spot to get on the glass. You know, Jessie May's done an amazing job getting to the rim. She's not making everything, but she's got teammates there following, getting in good position, getting hands to it, and finding second shots for New South Wales.
The Natoa coming back into the game for Petrie. And I think Queensland doing a great job of just being able to get some rest and into their players whilst also staying in the game.
Yep.
They're doing an outstanding job of getting that done, so when it comes clutch towards the end, they should be fresh enough to go.
Let's hope it does become clutch. We want a tough one. We want a close one all the way through. I love that. Uh-oh, can't leave her open. New South Wales got lucky on that one. A bit of miscommunication in the back line of the zone. You just got to be so active there. Kids sometimes think, you know, zone is where we can relax defensively, but you want to make sure they maintain engaged the whole time.
A 2-3 from Queensland now.
In typical Queensland form. Uh-oh. Now they're running at it. Really good job scrambling defensively there by Queensland too. As Perkins smashes into the barricade at the baseline, pops straight back up. Gee, she's tough. She's just tough. Oh, Finney just wants to launch. She's out of her mind right now.
Just keep going to the well. Keep going to the well.
It doesn't look like missing. Honestly, like she is shooting the lights out. All right, another sponsor. Going into the timeout. Jordan, one of my supervisors here, is telling me, is forcing me to do this, but we do love Foot Locker. The OG sneaker store with more than 2,500 stores across the world. Foot Locker is a leading global athletic footwear and apparel retailer. Shop the range at footlocker.com.au, and I'm hoping if you're listening, Foot Locker, that we can get a couple free pairs of sneakers our way. We've done such a great job on the broadcast so far. All right, so Queensland timeout. What are they talking about, Zoe?
getting hands to shooters.
Probably not a bad idea.
It has to be.
Probably
Now,
not a bad idea.
this is the difficult part though, right? So as soon as you go to a 2-3 zone or any kind of zone, you really are clogging up the paint and you are encouraging the three-point shot. So it's really difficult to cover that space and get hands to shooters like Finney, who is on fire when you're in that defensive scheme. So I think they're probably coming out of that now to make sure they cover it and then be able and force run, particularly Finney, run her off the line and make her make plays on the rim.
Now, she's improved that area of her game, but you absolutely cannot give up another catch and shoot. Right now, the basket looks as big as the backboard to her. It's like Caitlin Clark rubbed off on every kid here. They're launching, big-time shot-making. Queensland stayed in the zone. They're a bit more aware of Finney. And they end up getting the shot they want New South Wales to take there.
Oh, that's a pass.
And a great find.
Outstanding kick ahead from Matoa. Her passing and facilitating abilities
phenomenal.
Are outstanding.
Yeah, phenomenal. And you can see just defensively now, even when they went back to, it was obviously one possession of zone and then straight to man. Chasing Finney off that flare, they're lock and trail. They're not willing to give up another catch and shoot. Great D by Zoe there too. For a bigger girl, being able to move her feet like that, use her length in order to disrupt, really impressive.
Well, and also to not get tempted into bringing her hands down to try and block it, because that has been a point of emphasis all week, that any time the hands come down, the fouls are getting called.
We got a timeout for New South Wales. Another very, very good friend of mine, head coach of the Manly Seagulls NBL 1 program on the women's side. Nate Kerwin is tuning in. Nate and I have known each other for a long time. I had the pleasure of seeing him a few years ago in the NBL 1. He's furious that I gave Sean Roger a shout out instead of him. But he's done a brilliant job with that Manly women's program. They're exceptional. I know a couple of these girls actually play for him. Lucy Mead and Freya. So I'm sure he's tuning in and excited. Nate, miss you. Wish you would text me when I'm not commentating as well as when I'm commentating, just to prove that you are a real friend. But look, I appreciate you checking in on me too, mate. So New South Wales timeout. They're coming out here. It's going to be a really interesting last 3 minutes of this half. We still haven't seen a huge run by either team. It's just been big shot after big shot both ways, Zoe. What can we look for the next 3 minutes?
Well, I think from Queensland's perspective offensively, they need to make sure that they're actually executing. They cannot rely on such big shots out of broken play for the entire game.
Yep.
So they need to get shots out of execution.
Yep.
For New South Wales, they're getting good looks. They've just got to, on the rim, they've just got to knock them down and keep going to Finney on the three-point line.
Back to the zone for Queensland. I think they feel they've probably had a talk about it, making sure they understand to locate Finney. Great take by Ruby, but again, that's
great
a phenomenal
outlet.
pass. Didn't get the result she wanted, but she did a great job of getting out ahead of it. You know, they've made a conscious effort to do that, Queensland, and they know that she's going to be able to find them with a phenomenal pass.
Well, Queensland have to start converting those opportunities. That they are possibly the easiest scores that they're going to get, or looks that they're going to get for the game. So they need to make sure they start converting those, because Natoa's doing an outstanding job of either coming up with the ball or getting the rebound and just kicking ahead. Like when you talk about keep the ball off the floor in transition and kick the ball ahead, what we just saw from Natoa is exactly it.
Yep. Perkins puts him up 1 with 2 minutes to go now. It's great D by Finney. Even better offense, kept their dribble alive. Unbelievable on the glass. What a pass. Wrap around. Natoa's really physically asserted herself on this game, and I love the way she can impact the game even if the ball's not in her hands, whether it's on the glass or as Ruby gets fouled on that drive. It's like a heavyweight title fight. Just throwing jabs consistently at each other. Probably throwing haymakers, but no one's going to fall. Down, minute 20 to go, 1 point game, New South Wales are up. Just had her back heel out of bounds. She can really shoot it. Rika Chanel has shot it well all tournaments.
We see that a lot though, that just that lack of understanding of court geography, and a lot of players, both on the boys and girls side, are stepping out of bounds when they're in that corner. And
Coach killer.
Yeah, it's
Coach
something
killer.
that since the change in the three-point line, I don't think we've adjusted to all that well. Issues again.
Oh my God.
5 from 5 from the three-point line.
All right, enough's enough. She's got her big girl pants on today, Vinny. That's the matchup they want, though. You get your best player the ball at the foul line and let them go play.
And
it's
the
a really
footwork
hard,
on that spin.
Yeah, unbelievable. But it's a really hard place as a defender to guard. You know, where do you send them? There's not a lot of help. You can't really double. We're in a timeout, Queensland here, 14.5 to go. Zoe, you're going to do the last shout out of the half.
Okay.
You have to.
Okay, TQ, when it comes to iconic Australian places, Queensland has its fair share. As one of the biggest states in Australia, some of the best places to visit are right here. Tourism and Events Queensland is the state's leading major events agency, connecting people and places like never before. Check out the latest events at teq.queensland.com.
Well done. You sound a lot better than me. I think you're going to do them all the second
No,
half.
I think you just don't want to do them.
Probably true as well.
But let's talk about Erica Finney for a second. Like, the ability to step on in a big-time game. Now, we know she's a shooter. She came into the tournament as a known shooter. But to be able to, in a big game like this, where it's just back and forward, like we said before, an arm wrestle, to be able to, one, get herself open, and then two, knock it down consistently. She is 5 from 5 from the three-point line
insane.
with 15 points.
Yeah.
So, you know, she's absolutely, you take those out, and this is a different ball game.
Agreed, and I've seen Erica play. She has that real shooter's mentality of it doesn't matter if she's missed 3 or 4 in a row, the next one's going in, and that's really hard to coach. That sort of mentality. So she's been really impressive.
Beautiful pick and roll play there between Natoa and Petrie. And again, as we spoke about before, that's when Natoa is really hard to guard.
Yes. And I think we might have a couple of milliseconds put back on the clock here. I don't know what the call is. It would be fitting to go to the half at 40 apiece.
It would. That's
really
what this
would.
game deserves.
Agreed. Agreed. I'd be getting Finney back in the game if there's any time on the clock. 1 second on the clock. New South Wales ball. No Finney, he's not going to give the people what they want. But let's see what we can get if we get a decent shot off here at New South Wales. Nope, they're happy to go to the half tides. Okay, Jordan wants me to... Very unnatural. I've been natural the whole day, but my boss here wants me to say something. Look, I think let's just give it a little wrap up for the half, Zoe. I guess, what did you see, and then what are you looking for in the second half?
Well, I mean, first of all, we saw an outstanding example of women's basketball. To be able to, again, as we spoke about already, hit big shots, have defensive change-ups. You know, we've had a combination of 3 points, getting on the rim, pick and roll play. It's just been outstanding. And like we said before, it's fitting that it's 40 apiece. I don't think there's going to be a time where it's going to really break away for anybody. So now it's the mental game. Who can stay engaged long enough to make sure they finish out this second half? And coming out of halftime is a really big part of that. You get that break, you know, you get to exhale a little bit, but once it's, can you reset and can you start again?
Great feedback, Zoe. Appreciate it. Look, we'll take ourselves to the half now. After these adverts, we'll be back with second half action. Sure. Testing.
Okay. I need to be able to talk streets. Wasn't off before. Oh, it's too hot. Can we cancel the second half? That was
Jordan. I'm gonna remind you that in staff meetings.
That you're the boss?
Yeah.
You can be the boss. I don't know if the mic, dude. I think the mics are still on. Oh, all I want to be able to do is talking points. Dude, it's hard for me not to go ballistic. That was a crazy first half. You're doing the intro, Jay. To bring us back for the second half. It's more professional. Can you be a professional too? I think we actually, I'm not gonna lie, I actually think we're pretty good. I can hear you. You don't think we're good? I think we're good. Are we not good?
I think you're good.
Okay. So, be honest. Be honest. That's not gonna work. You missed a good half. TV.
I was listening and watching online.
You were not.
It's like 10 degrees hotter.
It's so hot. It's awful. Oh, you can't hear me. These are really good. I had those last time.
I don't know what's wrong with that. He can't hear. I thought that before.
That can't be.
Still great by you.
Maybe we just gotta stay positive over here. I'm doing a really good job. Zoe, doing a really good job.
Wow. Wow.
All right, Zoe, we're back. I'm going to just read through some of the stats we've just been handed. Obviously, Finney 5 of 5 from 3. Super impressive, 15 leading New South Wales. Ruby Perkins, 10 points, 3 assists, 2 boards. Has really impacted the game. In terms of Queensland South, again, like you said in the first quarter, 4 girls with 6, 1 with 7, 1 with 9. They've really shared the load scoring-wise. Makes it really tough, I think, for New South Wales. What do they do here? What's their, what adjustments do they make? And then on the flip side, what do you think Queensland are talking about?
Well, I think for New South Wales, they need to contain Natoa. She's doing too much damage out of the pick and roll play or just through facilitating in general. She's a big reason as to why they have the even spread that they've got. And credit to the Queensland team who have been ready when everyone's been drawn into the paint that's come back out. They are knocking those shots down. So they'll want to try and continue that. Maybe a little bit more deliberate about the offense, like the way they're getting their scores. But they'll want to continue to have that spread of scorers to make them harder to guard. And then New South Wales, they need to, from an offensive perspective, they need to just make sure they continue to get feet in the paint, either finish on the rim or find shooters. Play a little bit more out of pick and roll play because I think they are very difficult to guard with Hall and Perkins playing off the pick and roll.
Oh, an exciting half. And we've tipped, oh, here we go. Found Finney in transition. Queensland do a good job of finding her. That's another one you probably can't leave open. They get out of jail a little bit there. You mentioned Natoa, probably triple-double watch with her with 6 points, 5 assists and 8 boards. So we'll keep an eye on that as well.
And you think about the missed layups in transition that she probably would have got
honestly,
added assists for.
If that's me, I'm furious at my teammates. Not that I ever would have passed to any of them. I didn't trust them. But if I were to ever give it up and someone's missing a layup, that just basically locks in the fact they're not getting it back again. They won't die wondering from 3. Their feet are set. And May Hall or Perkins find them. They're not afraid to shoot it. Tough move by Petrie. Here we go. This is where Jessie May is dangerous. Great pass.
Another nervous start from both teams. Really struggling to find the bottom of the net. Getting some good looks, but unable to convert at this stage. Great change of pace on that dribble from Natoa. I think a lot of the time, young athletes think they've got to be fast all the time. The way she went from slow to slightly faster, back to slow again, that was unguardable and found the receiver.
Yep, it's something I pride myself on now, slow to slower. It's the only way I can really be effective in games these days, so I can appreciate that. Mead coming in for May Hall early. Is she a bit?
She looks a bit proppy.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
She's a tough kid though. She'll be okay. She might just need a second, maybe go see the physio for a bit of treatment. But
yeah, and that looks like that's what's happening over there in the corner too. Lots of contact. No call. Great box out there by Abby. Really keeping Natoa off the glass. She's done a pretty good job of being physical defensively. Natoa's a really tough matchup. She's not sure the call's been called against her. I got that right, didn't I? I think they called her on it over the back there. So second, so she'll sit. playing through Jackson early, which I love. Really good job walling up by Rising Up.
I think New South Wales going into Jackson is a good idea, but there was no movement off
What
of her.
happens when it goes
It was
there?
all, it just
Yeah.
went in and they all stood still and watched, and Jackson's trying to create. So I'd like to see it go inside, maybe have some weak side divers or even just an exchange or something, just to keep weak side active so it's not so easy for them to build the wall.
Oh, yeah, they got Finney on the hook. Really good D. They've done a good job running her off the line. Finney tries to put it on the deck, but she does. Cariana does a great job of keeping her in front of her. She's been pretty good. Both ends of the floor.
So Hall back in for Perkins now. So, like I said, she's a tough kid. She'll play through whatever sort of pain she's probably dealing with right now. But if you're Queensland, you probably want to test that out.
Yeah.
Try and go at her defensively and see if she can stay in front of the ball.
I mean, that's the thing I've been blown away with Jessie May the whole time is she's been elite defensively. Moves her feet well, plays good D without fouling. I think you're right. I'd be testing her on the next couple. Oh, no. They got away with that one. Finney is human. She missed it. I don't think it'll stop her, though. Really similar start to the in the second half as the first. You know, good shots, but none are dropping. Sloppy turnovers, a little bit like that. I think they're just sort of both trying to feel each other out a little bit here.
And this is that mental game now. Like as the minutes tick down, you know, can you execute under this sort of pressure? Can you, both offensively and defensively, can you follow your scout and get the ball and shots that you want the opposition to get? And an offensive foul here, I think, on Jackson.
Yep.
Which brings up her third foul as well. So that's a...
You want to keep an eye on that one. Yeah, I'd be nervous if I'm Tim Hill. You know, you want her on the floor, but if she picks up a fourth, she's going to be sitting for a while. She's just got to be really tough defensively. Keep hands out, wall up. That's a deep three.
Whoa! Huge!
She's big time. She said, anything Erica can do, I can do better.
You could go at Jessie May Hall and test out her injury. You could go at Jackson and test out her foul trouble. Or you could just pull up and shoot threes.
And Jessie May hits a big one. The injury didn't seem to be affecting her on that shot.
Nice cut.
It's really good action there for Queensland.
Great cut. Off the high post catch again. That's what we were talking about before that New South Wales didn't get. Ball went inside, cuts off of it. Easy, high percentage finishes. Finney again.
Oh, tough one. Another good look, though. You know, again, she'll miss 2 or 3, but she's happy to shoot the next one, and she knows it's going in, and that comes from hours and hours of work, and she's earned it.
Shot clock down to 9. It's a tough foul. Shot clock pressure running down. No real offensive action happening. And they come up with a foul. They get to reset and try and start again.
Looks like New South Wales going to a zone here, potentially. No, could be wrong. I am wrong for the first time during the coverage. That's just such an explosive move. She is probably the best I've seen with change of speed. She'll stand you up, and then it's boom, sinks her hips, gets low, and just impossible to stay in front of.
that's where Queensland, Natoa's doing a great job of drawing all the defense inside when she's posting up. She's got a big, wide, strong seal, but weak side has to try and lift and get to that high post so you can either look for the high-low or drag the split line that is clogging up the paint away. They can't get the ball inside at the moment because it's too stationary on the weak side.
That's just an unbelievable play by Jessie May. I didn't even think it was a great pass. I didn't think she was going to catch it, and then she just popped out of nowhere, picked it up, got hit, threw it up, went in. She's a big game player.
She is.
A big game player. I'm excited for the next 13 minutes, 47 seconds. If she hits it, puts New South Wales up.
Queensland need a high percentage look here.
I was just thinking the same thing. They've kind of settled for threes the last 3 or 4 possessions. This is where you want the ball. Great
pass.
That was
Again,
a little look away, lob over the top, beautiful.
But again, how she attracts all that defense and then cutters off of that.
Queensland in a zone now. Ruby does a great job of finding Abby. Big three. Big three. And that's it. Like, if you can't get the high post catch, if you can get your guards to attack the gaps in the zone and collapse it, it's just as good. High quality game of girls basketball here. Great take by Perkins. Timeout, Queensland.
And good timeout.
Yep.
There are a lot of coaches that will sort of see the time and go, oh, it's only 2.5 minutes until the three-quarter time break. We'll just ride it out. I love that the coaching staff for Queensland are impacting the game here and trying to stop this momentum before it gets out of control. Because if you let a team like New South Wales get, you know, even a double-figure lead, that's really hard to draw back against them because of how high quality they are and how many big game players they have. So I really like this timeout, and they need to come out of this and execute offensively. They need to get high percentage look to maybe go back into the high post again and play off Natoa, cut off of her. But I'd also like to see her get some of her own as well. She's doing an outstanding job facilitating, but I want to see her as well impact the scoreboard herself.
Yeah, agreed. I think playing through her at the high post, it's just so hard to guard for New South Wales. What do? Potentially look for zone, maybe 1 or 2 possessions of zone here to try to mix it up and junk it up. The thing with that is you leave shooters like Rika Chanel and Cariana open, and so it's kind of, you got to pick your poison here. What do? I would be trying to get Natoa out of her comfort zone because when the ball's in her hands, good things happen.
And a good defensive change up here to go to the three-quarter court or half-court trap, just to get the ball moving east-west a little bit more rather than north-south, and take the ball out of the hands and not be able to execute exactly what you want. And they've done that. We're at 10 seconds, and we're still not into anything that is real confident offense.
Great coaching by Tim Hill. He listened. I think he might have the coverage on in his headset, and he's listened to what I said about the zone.
He's got his AirPod in.
He should.
Really danger time for Queensland now. They must get stopped. They cannot allow.
Oh, they can't allow that. Spoke too soon. You're right, though. This next 2 minutes is huge in terms of the outcome of this game. It just feels like New South Wales have started to grab the ascendancy. And this is where Jessie May does her damage. That's a phenomenal pass. Really good recovery, though, by Queensland. They sprint foul line to foul line, and they find players fast.
I'd really like to see Finney get into the corner on that. So then it's just a catch, draw that defender, corner, open three. I would definitely back her to make that 9 times out of 10.
Absolutely. Another great pass by Jessie May. She sees the floor so well on drives. Her head's up, she sees movement, she can read defenders, help side. It's really impressive.
And it's a great look to go into Hanson there and try and exploit that mismatch. Hanson's just got to get a little bit wider, a little bit lower so she can power through the contact and try and finish. But great follow-up, and now, you know, going to the line for Queensland. Again, something they need to see. They need to see the ball go through the net a little bit more. They've been empty on the last few possessions. They need to see a score just to calm the nerves a little bit and, you know, get themselves back into their offensive flow. Great ball by Petrie and
Huge.
put back.
It's a really big play by Petrie. She's going to have to impact the game in the fourth big time if they're going to get this done. Super, super talented athlete. Really big play by her. They're in a sort of 1-2-2 or a 3-2 zone. Great extra pass there.
Found the shooter.
Maylee's a really good passer. Thinks it's undersold talent of hers. She does a really good job of playing, facilitating out of the post. And we know angles are really good. You get a post catch in that sort of environment, your angles are awesome in terms of finding that three-point shooter. Not that I would have ever known, because it's not coming out when I catch it.
Great trap.
It's a big shot.
Last possession here. Queensland must get a stop here.
Where's it going? Finney off the flare. Oh, good hands. Now, if that had gone in, I would have left. I would have gone up and left. All right, so 2-minute third quarter. Zoe, talk to me a little bit about what's going on in each timeout. What are New South Wales talking about right now?
I think they're just about continuing to push the ball offensively. They've looked good in transition and been able to get themselves to the line, playing through that pace, putting that pace back into the game. So continue to do that, continue to go inside, outside, and be able to, the posts for New South Wales have done an outstanding job of finding, when they've been trapped, finding the open players to either stick big shots, which they've definitely done, or put heat back on the rim and get layups. So for Queensland, they need to disrupt this. This is a really dangerous sort of 3 minutes coming out of this three-quarter time break. They must impact defensively. They cannot allow to give anything easy to New South Wales. So I'd like to see them go to maybe even something a little bit more switching, a little bit more aggressive, you know, get into lanes, force New South Wales into back cuts. Whilst they're very good at that, the pace in those back cuts means they're probably less likely to make the layups because they're cutting so hard if the pass makes it through. And then offensively for Queensland, continue to play through Natoa. I'd like to see some pick and roll play between Natoa and Petrie. So Petrie setting the on-ball screen, Natoa facilitating off of it, because Petrie can also pick and pop. And we haven't seen a lot of that today. So I'd like to see a little bit more of that, and I'd like to see them go back to, when the ball has gone inside, their active cutters, their secondary cutters off of their posts or off of their high posts.
Love it. I'm excited. 10 minutes to go in the National Championship final. 7-point game. Lots of stars on the floor. Hope everyone at home's enjoying it. Here we go. It looks like a box and one, and they've got the one on Finney, if I'm correct, or something like that. And that's really hard as a coach. Probably not something you've practiced a lot of. Really good by Queensland to take New South Wales out of rhythm. New South Wales might take a few possessions to get used to that and figure out where they can beat it. And you called
Great
for
pass.
it. The ball screen, they got a really good shot. Unfortunately, it doesn't go, but a really, really good shot. Just she facilitates well out of the ball screen, doesn't she?
She does. Petrie's just come up a little sore after that. Hopefully she's okay.
Physio seeing her now. She seems to be able to stand. Might be an ankle potentially. You hate to see it, and
Yeah.
you know, especially with Mahalia
Want to see the best
early.
players playing.
Exactly. She's putting some weight on it, and it seems like she's going to be able to walk off.
Hopefully with a little bit of treatment, she'll be able to
She's
able
a
to
Petrie.
return.
She's tough. I think she wants to stay on the floor.
Yeah, she's trying.
I love that. She'll be back.
I think we've got to give a shout out to the percussion of the crowds here.
Oh
There
my
are
God.
drums everywhere.
I'm losing it. I can barely hear myself think. Big shot. Natoa just seems to make the big plays when it matters for Queensland.
She's got the calmness of a senior basketball player and the time of a senior basketball player. She's just, nothing phases her. She's never under pressure, which is just such a brilliant skill to have at such a young age.
It's a great screen. She makes good contact on them. A great D by rising up. Does a good job of walling up. Queensland have definitely come out a little more assertive this quarter. And there you talk about that patience offensively.
There'd be so many players at this tournament or of this age level that would have come to a stop there, where, you know, first penetration, not on, would have stopped. And whilst the 2-foot stop and the pivot is still good, the patience and the time to just back it out slowly and then look to attack again, that's senior level stuff. She's been outstanding.
Yeah, unbelievable. Unbelievable poise and patience. She's got great ball handling skills, surveys the floor, uses her change of speed well, and gets a well-earned 2 foul shots. Ruby does a good job of that, you know. Again, she is really good at getting to the foul line. You know, she takes contact, she can get to the rim at will, and she'll go there, and she's just made so many big free throws over her career. You feel really comfortable here.
From a defensive perspective, you want to see from bigs in particular, when guards are coming at you, you don't need to block it, just change it.
Yep.
Just change the shot to the point where you can come up with the rebound and go. That's as good as, if not better, than you blocking the shot. Because often when you block the shot, it goes out of bounds and they get it back. So yeah, we just Hansen on the next one just tries to impact that shot a little bit more rather than trying to send it out.
Great hands by Jessie May.
That's speed.
She's just a killer in the open floor.
And you just feel like anytime Queensland start to really claw it back and the momentum looks like it's going to shift their way, in comes Jessie May Hall to put an end to it.
Yeah, she's a winner.
Great job, Natoa.
They're just hanging around. Great find by Ruby. It's just such an invaluable skill to have for any of the young kids watching. If you can shoot, you can play, and coaches will find a spot for you. And Abby Valance and Erica Finney have just done a phenomenal job of getting to spots and shooting the ball confidently. And it just allows girls like Ruby Perkins and Jessie May Hall to get downhill if it's a middle ball screener in transition, and gives them space to operate. Really, really hard to guard teams like that.
This team, this New South Wales team reminds me a lot of the South Australia Metro team from the Wyndham Nationals, where Izzy Borlase was just massive, but the team around her were able to stick the open shots when it came to her. So you either chose to sink in and get the ball out of her hands, and give up the three, or you stayed on everyone and Borlase was going to work. It's a similar thing that we're seeing here. If, you know, Perkins and Hall doing an outstanding job getting feet in the paint and creating a collapse from the defense, and the New South Wales players are just knocking down open shots.
Petrie's checked back in as well. I told you she was tough.
Yeah.
Queensland going to the zone again. Makes me a little bit nervous when you got Finney and Valance on the court.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shooters to be aware of. And Ruby Perkins
herself
can...
terrible
exactly.
either. Like, that's the thing. But we are on, you mentioned it before, we are on triple-double watch. Natoa is 11 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists.
Oh, I'd be furious. I'd be furious. She could have had it in there at the end of the third quarter. But what an impressive display of basketball so far, Zoe.
And you've really got to hand it to Queensland too. They've battled through, you know, like we mentioned before, Vahalia with her injury. Again, hopefully she's okay. And then Petrie has to go off for a little bit with a bit of a niggle there. And they're just fighting.
Doesn't it really? It really messes with your rhythm. You know, one of your key players goes down, and it's not like this was in the first 3 minutes of the game.
Absolutely.
She goes out, you know, there was probably a game plan to get her certain looks or to have certain matchups. As a coach, it's really hard. Real massive credit to the coaching staff, really of both teams, but Queensland to really battle back here and to make those adjustments. And Keriana has come in and just played an incredible role.
Definitely.
If I'm honest, she's been phenomenal, stepping into those minutes that we lost V for. Uh-oh. What are they called there? Travel?
Yeah,
I think it's either a 5 second, it might be a 5 second violation. I wasn't paying too much attention. There was a lot of action going on there for New South Wales.
It could have been either.
Finney might have run off 27 screens in those 5 seconds.
Great
Jackson,
job by Zoe Jackson.
Really,
there.
really, I was about to say the same thing, impressive.
Just able to use her length, not give up the foul on a player that is playing outstandingly in this game. That's a big time play right there defensively.
Big stop by New South Wales. This next 2 minutes, it just feels like if New South Wales makes some big plays here and get some stops, it's going to be really hard for Queensland to get back into it. They're sticking with this zone. Oh, man. I don't know how she got that off.
And whilst, look, the zone is slowing New South Wales scoring, it is getting to a point where you're going to have to start thinking about, because coming out of it while they're not converting at the other end, because you'll have to start to get disrupted with about maybe 3 to 4 minutes to go. If this is still the score line here or the deficit, you're going to have to start and disrupt somehow to create extra possessions, but this will help.
I agree. I'd love to see New South Wales just get a high post catch. It just feels like both teams are trying to, well, New South Wales trying to throw a knockout blow, play inside out a little bit now, get a really good shot here,
Yeah.
get to the foul line.
Yeah, continue to go with what's working.
Correct. You just stick Perkins or Jesse May at the high post, let him make a good decision. Oh, there she is. Done a better job just getting a hand above the ball early enough.
And forcing her out further.
Yes.
So it's not quite as simple as a catch and shoot.
Yeah.
Great cut, great
Really
pass.
good cut.
Is that 9 assists now?
Yeah,
One
we're
to
getting
go.
there. Could have been 15, but we'll take 9. Great cut by Petrie too.
Yeah.
That's what I love from Perkins. Now, it didn't go in, but attack the gaps,
Yeah.
get to the paint. Oh, this could be big. Yeah, foul on the
Foul.
box out. I think that's
Yeah.
Queensland ball, probably baseline here. There have not been a lot of subs. And it's really hot in here. So the next
Great
few minutes
extra
are going to be
pass.
interesting.
Natoa again.
Just unbelievable. Oh,
Oh, that
I
could have
thought that
been
was
10.
it. It's the story within the story. Natoa. Really good shot by Cariana there. Unlucky not to hit it. What a move. Unlucky. Really good take by Jessie May. God, she just can get to the rim at will. This is where you want the ball if you're Queensland.
Better job from Finney there to take away the cutter. But then that allows
Leaves
Natoa to
Jackson
get on
on
the
an
rim.
island. It leaves
Yeah.
Jackson on an island, and Natoa does an awesome job of just taking her time and making a big play.
And that's where cutters need to understand it's not always for you. And that's a great thing. You've created space for Natoa to just be able to go and get an easy layup. And when scores aren't coming thick and fast, you'll take that every day of the week.
Yep. It's a big one. Ooh.
Momentum sort of shifting
Yeah,
back to Queensland
absolutely.
now.
Absolutely.
The error with the clock.
Again, New South Wales, it's kind of have just, again, trying to throw that knockout punch, trying to hit a 3. It's one pass shot stuff. I'd love to see some action and then the ball end in the middle of the floor with Perkins or Jessie May and then let them play against, rotating defenses. Phenomenal cut again by Petrie. Unlucky not to make it. She's done a really good job working the baseline.
I'd just like to see her go into more of a reverse layup with that rather than trying to turn herself around to create the angle. Just straight up reverse layup.
Middle ball screen now, New South Wales. That's a big one.
Oh!
That is a big shot.
That is
Yes.
huge.
That,
And you just get the feeling, looking at the both groups, that could be the knockout that they were looking for.
Honestly,
You know,
she's hit some. It was Finney in the first half. It's Valance in the second half. She's just hit 3 or 4 really big shots when they've needed it. And I don't think they needed it any more than that shot there.
Absolutely, and I'd like to see him, go back to that flare action. I know, while Queensland are in a zone, that might be a little bit harder, but I think if you just change your angles, change who you actually screen, I think they can still run it and go into that flare action with then a diver on the rim and lift the weak side. They'll either get wide open threes or somebody inside the paint. And
I think you should coach. I think you should coach.
Right now, I think they are they're in the driver's seat right now. So, you know, the defensive possession for them coming out of this timeout is very, very important.
Do you throw the 1-2-2, a bit of a clock eater, take some time off the shot clock, take them out of their rhythm a little bit here. They did a good job of that a couple times earlier in the half.
Absolutely, and now Queensland must execute. They must find Natoa and cut off of her and let her make decisions and make plays.
So they're matched up, Valance on Natoa, so it's not Jackson anymore. What, does she go on post now? Do they go and find her there? How do they play with her?
Pick and roll, Petrie and Natoa.
Great pass. Really good action. Really good action. Yeah.
But it's great action. That's great execution out of the timeout. You know, obviously you want the score out of it, but as a high percentage look, that's what you're looking for as a coaching staff. That speed from Jessie May Hall is just incredible.
And I think Queensland like that shot. Now I know, like, you know, they don't want to slow down and stop, but I think New South Wales get a ball reversal or two. You know, you don't need to put up anything too early. Big finish by Natoa.
Just a great little shoulder shake. High with the drop step low. Again, she has nothing but time. She has senior level time and space.
Yes. I love what New South Wales have done there. They put their two best shooters in the corners. They let Ruby or Jessie May work off that middle ball screen. Now, they didn't get the result they wanted, but it's good paint touches for New South Wales. That's where they need to live for the next 2 minutes.
And now if Queensland can execute here and find themselves a high percentage score, this becomes a ball game. This could be
shots. Jessie May's just everywhere. She's got such a nose for the ball and just impacts winning.
And smart, like you said, just to slow the ball up here, get a ball reversal, choose some time, clock is their friend.
Now it's getting late, 5 on the shot clock. Don't want to foul. Oh my God, I would have lost it if that went in. Great pass. Oh man, it is a scrap fest out here.
Queensland have had their opportunities.
Yeah, they have.
They have had their opportunities.
Credit to them. They shouldn't put their heads down. It's still a game. There's still so long to go. It's only 6 points.
And especially the way they shoot the ball.
Yep.
But it takes a defensive stop here. They must come out of this timeout. They must disrupt, and they have to come up with it. They allow New South to score here, any score, 2 or 3. It becomes very, very difficult. So
okay, so if you're Tim Hill, do you advance? Do you keep it where it is? You keep the full shot clock?
I keep the full shot clock.
Okay.
Because again, time's my friend. So I don't want to create extra possessions for Queensland. And I've got full faith in Hall and Perkins to bring the ball up the floor.
So if you're Queensland, what are you trying to do? Are you fouling this possession? Are you going to let them take a shot? We're right on the edge there. There's no right or wrong answer here. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you've still got, as long as you obviously get the stop, you've still got enough time. So I'm probably not fouling yet. I'm probably looking at trying to get up the floor again, maybe if they are in the backcourt, they don't advance it. I'm probably looking at some type of three-quarter court, half-court trap, just to, again, get them out of their rhythm, try and get them to make a pass they're not used to making. But on their on-ball screens or any action like that, I'm probably trapping.
Yeah,
now,
nice.
I know we're giving up somebody, and New South have done an outstanding job of sticking shots, but it's about trying to be disruptive. You might get that deflection that you just need to get yourself a quick, easy score out on the break.
Oh, well done, Jackson. She can handle it too. I like that. She's confident, fakes the handoff, brings it up the floor. Got her team in a good position here with 10 on the shot clock. Oh, wow. That is a big time play from Jesse May. Uses a pivot, fades, fires. I think that might be it. It's going to be really tough from here. Big rebound by Finney. They're going to have to foul. And they do. So that's only their third. New South Wales really in the driver's seat now, especially with the experience they've got on the floor. You just feel comfortable, really, with any of them handling the ball and making the right decision here. Now the next one they're shooting.
Who's New South's best free throw shooter? Who do you want to get the ball in their hands
without it. Finney or Valance. I'm happy with either of them, but the thing is, like, I'm taking Perkins there too. She's probably hit 1 million big free throws over her career, so I'm not upset at that at all. That's probably going to seal the deal. That's pretty much impossible from here. Timeout Queensland. They'll advance it. Probably trying to get a really quick three, but...
Well, depending on how the ball is entered and where it's entered, if I'm New South, I'm probably fouling.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Just chew the time up with our 2 fouls or with our foul that we've got.
Way too many bad teams.
But that's the problem. Depends on what sort of... If they're catching and looking to shoot, well, obviously you don't want to get that. But if it comes in and their back is to the basket, I want to try and foul that if I can, chew up a little bit of time. And try and come up with a steal again here.
The athletes you've coached are clearly a lot more cerebral than the ones that I've had.
But hey, huge credit to Queensland here. Like the effort they've put into this game. This is an incredible, probably generational New South Wales team. And the fight they've put up against some serious adversity has been outstanding. So from the players to the coaching staff, they've done a great job, and hopefully they can finish here with a good score, get a good look, finish off, hopefully get Natoa her 10th and her triple 10th assist and her triple double.
It's not over. We need the 10th assist. I'd have her throw it in.
Oh.
All right, New South Wales will get it here. 10.5 to go. We've had some big-time plays all the way through this game. What a high-quality game of basketball this has been.
I think this has been one of the best under-18 Nationals women's games I think I've seen.
I think it's got something to do with the commentary team. I'm going to be honest with you.
Well, and this game was amazing in the rounds too, when they played each other earlier in the week.
The only tough game both teams, look, I mean, they have had tough games, but you know, they really pushed each other for the full 40. Queensland can hold their head up high. I honestly think if these teams play 10 times, it's 5-5.
Yep.
Celebrations will start soon for New South Wales. Their second gold medal for a lot of these girls. They were very disappointed to lose it last year. A lot of them returning after being bottom 8.
And congratulations to New South Wales. Definitely the benchmark for the week. Just an outstanding performance from both groups, but it is tough to win a gold medal at any Nationals. So to come out and do it the way that they have has just been fantastic. And I dare say we'll be seeing a lot of these athletes step into senior basketball and senior programs and make big impacts. So congratulations to New South Wales, the players, the staff, the high performance coaches, just an outstanding effort.
Absolutely. And they're celebrating their mid-court. Congratulations to Tim Hill and his staff. Another gold medal under his belt. Zoe, I appreciate it. You've done an excellent job keeping me in check for the full 40. I've enjoyed it. It's been a great game. We look forward to the men's gold medal soon. We appreciate Moreton Bay and Basketball Australia and Foot Locker, the major sponsor of the National Championships. And we look forward, and hopefully everyone's tuning in at 4 p.m. for the boys' gold medal game.